America's first defeat. Big up. Northwest Frontier, 1790.
By Epic History TV.
Let's
Oh,
go.
no, they've dropped the TV. By Epic History, and it's a new series. So let's go.
Yeah.
Go over to their channel if you want to see more of their content. That link's in the description box down below. You want to see more of us? Our Patreon. That link's down there as well. £3 a month.
Lovely cup of brew.
1787.
Oh,
new voice.
11 years have passed since
like
the
it.
United States of America declared their independence from the British Empire.
Voice.
But for the Americans, building a new nation is proving a formidable challenge. The infant republic is mired in debt, as well as political and economic turmoil.
So,
Veterans of the War of...
Sorry, Jack, I'm going to annoy you. I'm assuming, for YouTube, are we skipping past the French Revolution? Not the French, the War of Independence. So, do you know?
I had no idea. We were only 28 seconds in.
Well, it's America's first defeat, so I'm wondering
I'm thinking
if
what he's doing is he's doing like a monologue for the first couple of minutes to explain it, and then he might jump into the story and explain where he wants to start from.
Okay. I'm just wondering if they're starting from the concept of America or when Britain come over.
Independence.
Oh no, this is after. This is the independence from Britain. This is after.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to. That's what I thought, and that's what I was just trying to establish because they're called America first, right? So this is after the War of Independence, isn't it?
Yeah, so it must be.
Desperate, mount an insurrection, Shays Rebellion. The new federal government survives this crisis, but it is hamstrung by the Articles of Confederation, the country's first constitution, which severely limits its power.
Okay. Yeah, so this is after the independence.
So, later that year, lawmakers gather in Philadelphia to draft a new U.S. Constitution with much stronger powers for the executive.
Interesting. Okay.
Meanwhile, in America's newly proclaimed Northwest Territory, another crisis is brewing. In theory, this vast region has been ceded to the United States by the British following the Revolutionary War. It stretches from the Appalachian Mountains in the east to the Mississippi River in the west, and from the Great Lakes in the north to the Ohio River in the south.
Okay.
It was 300,000 square miles of untamed land, abundant in natural resources, and as far as the U.S. is concerned, ripe for expansion.
The Great Westward
Expansion. The federal government plans to sell the land to settlers to pay off its enormous debts from the Revolutionary War. About $40 million in all.
With the amount of natural resources,
there is no shortage of demand. Thousands of settlers are eager to travel west, to build new farms and towns, and start new lives on the frontier. But there is a problem.
The indigenous. Right?
Not only have thousands of settlers already crossed illegally into the Northwest Territory, the Native American tribes who already live there will bitterly resist any invasion of their ancestral homeland.
Of course.
The United States is stumbling into a war of conquest. A war for which it's badly unprepared, against an enemy it woefully underestimates.
Yeah, these people knew the land. They lived it. They're part of it.
Yep. We see your intentions. It is clear that your design is to take our country from us.
European settlers had been encroaching into Native American land for nearly 200 years. The violence was endemic. Some eastern tribes had been virtually annihilated. And the War of Independence, in which most Native Americans backed the British, saw intense fighting across the frontier.
Okay, of course.
Warriors from tribes such as the Miami, Shawnee, and Lenape, also known as the Delaware, targeted U.S. settlements along the Ohio River, hoping to drive away the intruders. Local militia companies, part-time settler soldiers, responded with reprisal raids.
Okay.
One notorious incident occurred in 1782 at Gnadenhutten. Here, Pennsylvania militiamen massacred 96 unresisting Lenape Christian converts, men, women, and children.
That's
Native American raids could be equally brutal. There were hundreds of victims on both sides, a cycle of violence that continued year after year.
I was going to revenge.
But now the U.S. government is determined to impose orderly and safe settlement of the region. And crucially, to begin selling the land to settlers, corporations, and speculators. Since independence, the U.S. government has imposed a series of one-sided treaties on the Native Americans, claiming their land by right of conquest, and using bribes, threats, and violence to get its way.
Great Westward Expansion.
Congress now goes a step further, formally establishing the Northwest Territory with clear rules for its surveying and settlement. Under the leadership of Mohawk chief Joseph Brant, the tribes have organized themselves into the Northwestern Confederacy.
Okay.
They reject and denounce the U.S. treaties and the new plans for settlement.
Of course you would.
Yeah.
These tribes are determined to hold the line of U.S. settlement at the Ohio River, and will fight to do so. With violence flaring across the Northwest Territory, it will fall to America's first president, George Washington, to find a solution to the crisis.
Okay, Georgie, let's see what you've got for us. The government of the United States are determined that the administration of Indian affairs shall be directed entirely by the great principle of
George Washington, inaugurated as the first president of the United States in April 1789, faces many daunting challenges in his first term.
Yeah, he did. How did he overcome this one?
The national debt and the factions forming within his own cabinet. Now, the escalating crisis in the Northwest Territory joins the list.
Like that we're getting a little bit more information about Georgie as well.
Washington declares his wish to deal with Native Americans honorably and fairly.
Right.
Yet, at the same time, he will allow nothing to stand in the way of the Republic's security or expansion. He's also being lobbied by a powerful association of land speculators, including his own Secretary of War, Henry Knox, who are demanding action. Their concern is that the violence in the Northwest Territory will harm their investments.
Yeah, we've already got to deal with the French.
In 1789,
we love you.
A final attempt is made to persuade the tribes to sign away their land. But negotiations at Fort Harmar are boycotted by the most powerful tribes. And so, in the summer of 1790, Washington authorizes military action. He orders the U.S. Army to launch a punitive expedition, a show of power to deter further attacks by Native Americans on U.S. settlers. It is an order for an invasion. Command of the expedition falls to Brigadier General Josiah Harmar, the nation's most senior army officer.
He looks worn out.
He is a distinguished Revolutionary War veteran who served with Washington at Valley Forge. But Harmar is also rumored to be a hard drinker and insists his troops follow the European model of war, relying on drill and close order formations which are completely unsuited to frontier warfare.
Yeah, you're in the jungle, right?
The forces at his disposal are extremely limited. The victorious Continental Army, which had defeated the British, has long been disbanded.
Oh, okay.
In its place, Congress has authorized the formation of a single infantry regiment, around 700 men.
Instead of having an army, they're trying to do this with Jack.
They've literally just put 700 geezers
together and as the army because they disbanded the
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
army. And
You lot aren't intelligent, bro.
super intelligent, yeah.
Oh my god! Let's just get a
Super.
random bunch.
No,
That's like us, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Getting a bunch of random, just 700 geezers, right? But these geezers are
London youths are smarter than yous.
three bankers, a librarian, and the rest of them are gang members, right? That's basically what you did there.
Oh.
Let's give a bunch of drunk, most probably, and pillagers
700 men
power
to take out
indigenous people in a way that they want to do it themselves with no actual command or control. Fucking what a way to start.
and you're trying to do it in the European military style.
You
And they're not
dickhead.
regiment and trained, yet you want them to be formation regiment and trained.
That's
Fucking idiot. No.
mate.
And I bet you they're all 50, just in case like they do want experienced people. Like any of the experienced people are 50. Do you know what I mean? Like to keep the formations up, they're 50. They're old now. Like, do you know what I mean?
Expedition
A pensioner in B&Q on a discount Tuesday could do a better job.
On disability benefits.
will be made up of militiamen from Kentucky and Pennsylvania.
3 6-pounder cannons.
Few of these
Okay, one are 320, 3 6-pounder cannons, 1,000 commands. Yeah, see.
Yep.
Okay.
were experienced frontiersmen. Rather, they're often those who lack the wits or wealth to avoid militia service.
that look was, yeah, grapists.
That look was. Let's carry on the video.
And no experience of the woods.
No experience. No one's
A
got any
stark
idea.
contrast to the enemy they'd soon come up against.
I'm really liking this new voiceover.
I am as well.
Yeah. Fits the.
I don't know if I think
style.
it's just for this sort of.
Yeah, that's it. It fits
Yeah,
the style.
it does definitely 100%. We love the old voice, but
Yeah.
for this one, it definitely suits the style.
'Tis probable the Indians will fight us in earnest. The greater part for our force will consist of militia. Therefore, there is some reason to apprehend trouble. I'm getting good at this, like literacy.
You
thing,
are,
know what I
man.
mean? You know what I mean? You're just seeing a journey of me progressing.
General Harmar plans to march his
Just wait for
force
the downfall.
north from Fort Washington
It'll come
along
crashing down soon.
150 miles of mostly
BBC
forest
News,
trails
Sky One.
to destroy the Miami settlement at Kikayonke. He'll be
Man, Rob's
supported
bank
by
while
another
okay.
mixed force of regulars and militia. 330 men commanded by Major Hamtramck, marching from Vincennes. On October 7th, 1790, Harmar sets out on the United States' first major military operation since independence. After an 8-day march, his force reaches the Miami village at Kikayonke,
Okay.
only to find it torched and abandoned.
Ooh, interesting.
Oh.
The Miami have destroyed their own homes and apparently vanished.
Ooh, they knew.
But Harmar's troops are being watched.
We can make a new home. We don't care.
Hundreds of warriors of the Northwest Confederacy have assembled to resist the U.S. attack. They are led by Miami War Chief Mishkanaqua, aka Little Turtle,
I bet he's
Shawnee
savage.
Chief Wayapir Senwa, aka Blue Jacket, and Bakangahelas of the Lenape.
Okay.
They and their warriors are determined, well armed, and know every inch of their homeland.
When you know your home turf is fucking
Meanwhile,
trouble for the enemy.
150 miles southwest, Hamtramck's militia have mutinied, refusing to advance further into the forests, and he has to turn back.
Oh. Why did they mutiny? Surely they must have been like, yeah, no, fuck that.
It's because they're untrained.
The smart
and-
division.
Yeah.
The smart division.
They're untrained They aren't
We ain't
getting
going
paid
into
for
the
this,
woods. We ain't going in
and
there.
they had to. It's because they couldn't afford other things, hence why they had to go into military service. They don't want to be there. They're going to be the first to mutiny. Fucking dickheads.
I see you. You haven't liked the video yet. Why not? Go on. Go like it. While you're at it, you know you want to subscribe. And if you want to go to our social medias, all the links you need are in the description box down below. And you might as well head over to our Patreon as well, where you can get extra bonus content if you're enjoying this. That link's in the description box down below. But we'll get straight back into the video. Love you guys.
Smart though.
General Harmar is on his own. His force spends 4 days burning villages in the area and
just
destroying any
aggravate 'em
food
more.
stores they can discover. Then, on October 19th, one of his companies is lured into an ambush.
Okay.
Attacked by more than 100 warriors, 150 militiamen turn and run.
Yep.
A single platoon of regulars stand their ground
Oh no.
and are massacred.
Okay. I mean, you're regulars. You wanted to stand there. You wanted to fight your ground, and you died doing what you've done. You did your duty.
They
It's
brave
brave.
men, and they did their duty.
Yeah.
But fuck me! Just notice everyone else is running and run, please.
Just notice you should have looked around, realised you're in a trap, and
And,
it's a trap,
yeah,
and then legged it.
Yeah, exactly.
Leg it.
Exactly.
Just don't. Just run.
It just.
I know you've got a job, mate, but you ain't got no chance against 150 going
No.
with knives and fucking everything, bro. You ain't got no chance. You've got no chance. Just run. Run. Tell me I'm wrong, bro.
I can't believe he's just done that on the internet.
What do you mean? I thought that was a good impression. Was that racist? Oh God, was it? I don't know. I thought that was quite a good impression.
No, I think it's online. I think it's online. Just like you swatting a fly.
Yeah, same thing, bro. Same
Yeah,
thing.
man. Yeah. So yeah, if you get caught in a trap, you run away and you regroup so you can like fight them again. Fuck me, Jack. We love you, YouTube.
Around 30 U.S. soldiers are killed, with another 40 militia missing.
Oh.
2 days later,
Yeah.
Harmar decides his mission is complete and sets off for Fort Washington. Hours later, his scouts report that villagers are returning to Kikayonge. Hoping to finally engage and defeat the enemy, Harmar's troops make a dawn attack. They
Wait, they're going
expect
back?
to have the element of surprise.
They hear that the villagers are returning back to the place.
But once more, they stumble into an ambush.
Oh.
You fucking idiots. Why are you going back?
In confused fighting, more than 100 U.S. soldiers are killed, scalped, and left where they've fallen.
It's inglorious bastard.
Many mistakenly believe scalping to have been an exclusively Native American practice.
I bet it wasn't though.
In fact, for more than a century,
Yeah.
it had been widely taken up by European settlers, often with encouragement from colonial authorities who paid bounties for native scalps as proof of death. What had begun as a ritual practice among certain tribes had become far more widespread and was now routinely carried out by both sides in the frontier wars.
Holy shit.
Harmar returns with his shaken force to Fort Washington, where he claims success. He has,
You are
after all,
kidding.
destroyed 5 Miami villages and considerable grain stores.
Okay.
It
It
doesn't
is
tell
a
us
heavy
about the
blow
rest,
to the
right?
tribes and will mean great hardship that
okay.
winter. But others saw
No.
it differently.
Yeah, thank God, because he didn't win.
The expedition has gone down in history as Harmar's defeat.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was the largest U.S. defeat by Native Americans.
Oh dear.
Harmar is later exonerated by a court-martial, but his reputation never recovers.
I don't think he would after. That is a defeat.
Yeah.
That is a bad one. Our prospects are much changed. Instead of peace and friendship with our Indian neighbours, a horrid, savage war stares us in the face. The Indians, instead of being humbled, appear determined on a general war.
That winter, both sides continue their raids across the Northwest Territory.
Yeah.
In January 1791, at Big Bottom, Lenape and Wyandot warriors kill 12 settlers, including 2 children. Such attacks spread alarm across the territory and threaten the entire U.S. project of settlement, upon which powerful interests now depend. Settlers fear to travel west. Land speculators are up in arms. President Washington now turns to the governor of the Northwest Territory, 54-year-old Scottish-born Arthur Sinclair. Sinclair had plenty of military experience. Like Washington, he'd served as a British officer in the French and Indian War. And in '59, he'd stormed the heights of Quebec with General Wolfe.
Okay.
During the Revolutionary War, he joined the Continental Army and was with Washington when he crossed the Delaware.
Okay.
But his record was tarnished in 1777 by his decision to abandon Fort Ticonderoga to the British without a fight. Sinclair now suffers from severe gout, but this does not dissuade President Washington from giving him the rank of Major General.
Interesting
and
choice.
Orders to launch a second expedition against the Northwestern Confederacy.
Can't really do much with gout.
This
Can't be
time,
walking
the
now, can
tribes
ya?
must be taught a severe and unequivocal lesson. Comply with U.S. demands or face annihilation.
I love that word.
Congress authorizes the raising of a second regular infantry regiment for the expedition. However, the prospect of
doing different,
frontier
right?
service is so unenticing that it proves impossible to recruit enough men to fill its ranks.
Oh dear.
Sinclair's
Interesting.
force will number not the 3,000 or 4,000 men originally envisaged, but around 2,000.
Still more
These
than 700
include
last
500
time.
Yeah.
regular infantry from the 1st and 2nd Regiment,
Okay.
100 mounted dragoons,
Strong.
and 10 3-pounder and 6-pounder cannon.
Okay.
The 1st and 2nd Levy Regiments provide 800 short service volunteers, though almost all of these are raw recruits.
Right.
Of the militia, Captain Faulkner's Pennsylvanian riflemen are experienced frontier fighters.
Yeah.
But there's only 60 of them. While most of the 400 Kentucky militia are completely inexperienced.
So you have half of your army is inexperienced.
Yeah. Yeah, half of the army is
The
inexperienced.
Northwestern Confederacy knows that their victory over General Harmar will not go unanswered. And they too prepare for another U.S.
Okay,
attack.
they're smart. They knew it was going to.
For the
Probably gonna be
tribes,
retaliation.
it is a daunting prospect. A battle for survival, in which they know their families, villages, and livelihoods will be targeted indiscriminately. But the common threat brings together warriors from a dozen tribes, about 1,400 in all,
Okay.
making it one of the largest Native American armies ever assembled on the frontier.
But they're all experienced.
Yeah.
Miami War Chief Little Turtle will again play a leading role, alongside Blue Jacket and Baconga-Halas.
Okay.
War chiefs organize the warriors according to tribe and language, and they are well armed. Many carry Brown Bess muskets, supplied by the British at Fort Detroit.
Okay.
For close
Interesting.
combat, they carry clubs, tomahawks, and knives.
Yeah.
Many warriors will paint their face before battle, a ritual preparation for combat that also serves to terrify the enemy.
Let's go. Should you foolishly persist in your warfare, the sons of war will be let loose against you, and the hatchet will never be buried until your country is desolated and your people humbled to dust.
Wow.
Yeah.
I said that to a native
Summer
chief.
1791. Sinclair's orders are to leave Fort Washington no later than July 10th and return to the Miami villages at Kikayonge. President Washington particularly warns him to be alert for ambushes on the march.
Smart.
Once Sinclair has eliminated all resistance at Kikayonge, he is to build a fort and garrison it with 1,200 men.
Interesting.
This stronghold will allow the U.S. to assert its control of the area and counter British influence from Fort Detroit.
Right.
How are they going? I'm not going to go to the big screen. How are they going to supply that area? Where's your logistical train? Like, how are you going to feed yourself, water yourself? Well, they've got a river, so they can water themselves. But this looks like a long distance to get. If you need help, it's going to take a while. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The British are supposed to have evacuated this outpost following the Revolutionary War, but they have not done so, and now use it as a base to encourage and support Native American resistance to the U.S.
Woo!
Support the little guy.
Sinclair's expedition, however, is in trouble before it can even set off.
Oh, I should have
The
called
U.S.
that,
Army's supply system relies on private contractors, most of whom are brazenly corrupt. They have pocketed most of the funds intended for the expedition, meaning Sinclair is seriously short of food, ammunition, and equipment. Precious weeks are lost as he urgently seeks to secure proper supplies
I
for
would have
his
found out who
troops,
took the money and then sent them.
while rush training the many raw recruits
No,
in
bro,
his
you ain't got a gun.
force.
You're walking out there.
Meanwhile, 2 preparatory attacks are launched against the Native Americans.
Oh shit.
In May, Brigadier General Charles Scott leads a mounted militia raid that burns several villages and takes 41 hostages to be used in future negotiations. 2 months later, Lieutenant Wilkinson leads a second raid that burns more villages and crops. They take 34 hostages, including the daughter of Miami War Chief Little Turtle.
No.
Oh no.
That's not good.
The raids are supposed to distract the tribes, to keep them off balance ahead of the main attack. All they really achieve is to enrage and unite the Northwestern Confederacy like never before. And when Sinclair's army is finally ready to march north that autumn, they will be ready and waiting.
Of course they were. They knew something was happening.
Back in the 18th century, as violence flared across America's Northwest Territory, it's fair to say the news reporting was not exactly balanced or objective. Of course, we live in a far more enlightened age, with balanced and accurate news at our
cheeky.
Follow the links in the America's reporters who helped to make this.
Well, I guess we're gonna find out more in the next.
That's a cheeky
episode.
cliffhanger, bro. That's a cheeky one.
That was.
I thought we told him not to do these anymore.
I'm not happy about this.
Nah, it's a new one, right?
Yeah,
okay.
Okay. That was fucking good. I want to see more.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how they actually really treated him and what really happened during that time period, bro.
Epic history.
Narrator Chuck Brown. Big up.
There we go. Narrator Chuck Brown and epic history. Epic history never fails to give us good content. We thoroughly enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed it, go over to their channel and check out more of their stuff. That link's in the description box down below. And of course, if you enjoyed our reaction, go over to our Patreon, because that link's in the description box down below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We will catch you in the next video.
Yeah.